Hey, what is up, gals and guys? Welcome to your beloved section, Tales from a Lonely Lou. Things are gonna get kind of serious because this is kind of I don't know, I'm not sure if it's a serious story, but at the time it was like, So I'm gonna ask the me that's editing this video right now. Cut the music. We don't need it right now because it's kind of a serious moment. I want to say another thing. Subscribe. Okay, so it was my teen years when I was in I was gonna say college. When I was in high school. So let's say I was probably, I'd say 16, 17, let's say between the range of 16 and 18 probably. This started in my room. I mean, nothing out of the ordinary happened before until that day, or pretty sure there were months. I remember coming home from school. Everything was normal. I threw my backpack. I was like scheduling my homework, cleaning my room, whatsoever. And out of nothing, I hear something breathing. Like I said, I believe nothing ever happened, like nothing out of the ordinary happened here in my house, so I wasn't really like, it didn't concern me. I thought it was something that was happening outside, or maybe someone had the TV too loud or something like that. It was something like, when I told this to a couple of friends, they kind of did tease me that it could have been someone doing intimate stuff. So the days started going by and I really didn't stop hearing this breathing. I was starting to feel that it wasn't normal to hear that every day. And then it wasn't just every day, it was also every night. Eventually this started at night as well. I was coming to my room, getting ready to sleep and all. And then I start hearing this breathing again, going like, just started giving me goosebumps because I really didn't know what it was, because it was at night. I mean, everyone was asleep at night. I didn't even hear cars going by, people walking by. Now that I remember, those were the times when I didn't actually have a door, I believe, here in my room. It was actually a curtain, so I wasn't very safe. It started to get to a point where I was actually starting to believe, you know, this is probably a paranormal situation. I mean, it's something that it's not that I don't believe in ghosts or stuff like that, but I never thought it would happen to me. I mean, it was like, you know, I just see this in the movies, I see this in documentaries and ghost hunting programs or whatever, but I really never thought that I would actually experience it myself. It did get to a point where I really didn't want to even be here in my room or even in the house, because this stayed like for a while. I'm talking months here, and I really didn't know what to do. It also got to the point where downstairs, because this is the second floor, so downstairs would be the living room and all of that, I would hear footsteps on the roof, which would be here on the second floor. I was home alone. I mean, I'm pretty sure you can imagine my fear. That's the word I was looking for. I was shocked because I was like, is this really happening? Am I actually hearing footsteps? And you know, I'm kind of curious and all the paranormal stuff, but I really did not want to go or come over here upstairs because I was alone, and I was like, oh my god, really? I just, no way I'm going upstairs until someone gets home. Even then, when my family was here at home, I still didn't feel safe because at the end I had to come here in my room. I mean, it was no choice of having to stay here because I really didn't have another place to stay. I really didn't want to be here anymore. I mean, it got to the point where I couldn't even sleep because I was just waiting for this breathing to start, because it was like, you know, you can't sleep yet because you're gonna hear this, and I don't want you to start to hear it halfway while you're asleep. Every night it was just like, I was actually happier when I was outside in the street, or even when I was at school. I mean, can you believe that? I mean, I really didn't want to. I'm sorry, I'm just checking if I didn't mess up the microphone. I never thought that me wanting to be at school would be a real thing, because we all go to school. I mean, I'm pretty sure some of you do love going to school and some don't. I was one of those that I was like, I'm just, I'm just coming here to graduate and that's it. But yeah, I got to a point where I felt a lot safer at school rather than home, and that was just so weird. So every time when school ended, it was like, oh my god, I have to come back to this place. So I kind of like started to procrastinate with my friends, like wanting to stay with them a bit longer. I tried to do it as long as I could, but there was going to be a point where I had to come back home, right? I started to feel like super tired, super weak. This thing, whatever it was kind of consuming my energy or stuff like that. This took months. It was just crazy. I didn't really tell anybody except my friends, which I said they kind of laughed at it. So there was this day. Also, I do want to mention, whatever was in this room, it made me wake up at 3:33, which is supposedly the time of the spirits or of the devil. And every time I woke up and looked at the clock, man, it just scared me, because I already knew what that meant. Going back to what I was gonna say, the climatic event happened. Not that the spirit or whatever it was took me or got possessed or whatsoever. Although I'm pretty sure we could have been close to that, but I don't know. As I said before, I kept waking up at 3:33 for months, and that day was no exception. I started to hear that breathing coming a lot closer, and it's giving me goosebumps right now because I can still hear how close it was getting that day. It started to go fast. Like, it started and it just started to increase its speed, and it was like, oh my god, no. It started going up like this. Let me try. You started to hear the breathing a lot faster and a lot closer, and that was just, I remember just pulling the sheets up, and I was actually shivering that day. I was actually shaking of fear, because it was just, man, I really thought it would be a lot more easier to talk about this, because this was years ago, but apparently I still really can't. I don't know if you can see, I'm pretty sure my bed was in this position when I was in high school, because this bed has been moved tons of times. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like this. And well, I usually sleep, the left side of the bed, I usually sleep on this part. So it was like a lot easier to listen to that, because the sound was coming from, or the breathing was coming from the closet. At that point, that breathing, you didn't hear the breathing from outside of my room. You already heard it inside. That was something I forgot to mention. The breathing started outside of my room, and then all of a sudden I started to hear it in the closet. And at that time, that closet, the closet didn't have doors. Right now it does. You can't see it obviously because it's not on frame, but at that time the closet didn't have doors, and you could just hear the breathing. It started, as I said, it was like so imagine me over there, imagine the pillow is me covered with the sheets and the blankets. So I just kind of like uncovered myself, and I forgot I was gonna do the representation. So there's a moment where the breathing just stops. Like, it comes close and it sounds like it's going fast breathing. And I'm like, okay, maybe this is over. Maybe that was it. Maybe that was everything that this ghost or spirit was gonna do with me. That was his way of, or her way of scaring. I don't know what it was. So I start to like uncover myself from the sheets, and like slowly I'm just like hoping not to see anything. And for my luck, man, I'm never gonna forget that, as I've never forgotten the sound of that heavy breathing. And I mean, you can tell it's still difficult for me to actually tell all of this, and I thought I was ready, but apparently not. The only thing I got to see was a freaking dark shadow, and I caught a glimpse of his hand or her hand, but this wasn't any ordinary hand. I could kind of see the hand hanging. I'm not sure if you can see that, but basically I saw the hand like this. This thing had freaking claws, man. I mean, this thing's nails were just super gigantic. And I only saw it like for 2 seconds because I instantly pulled my covers up, and I just remember that I was just shaking in fear, hoping that this thing was gone. And I really didn't even try to look outside again because I was really, it was really one of the worst nights ever. And I mean, I've had bad nights, but this one was really, when I woke up, I was just like, uncovering myself slowly, hoping that I didn't see anything else. I didn't actually see anything after that, because after that I actually did tell someone, and who I told this time was my mom. And I'm sorry if I can't really talk that well, but I had this retainer here, and it's just making me sound like a person who still wears braces, so I'm very sorry for that. I told my mom what was happening, and that it was happening for a long time, for months. And fortunately, she did believe me. In Mexico, I believe the religion that dominates more Latin America is the, how do you say it? Catholic? I think that's the way you pronounce it, Catholic religion. I'm a Catholic. Kind of like Daredevil. That's cool. This religion does have a lot of belief in like saints, God obviously, ghosts, also spirits. So the first thing we did, or the first thing she did, was reading some paragraphs from the Bible. So she came upstairs, she had her Bible open and started to read some paragraphs that I don't even remember, and I'm not gonna start lying and saying, oh, she read this part and this part and this part that says clean spirits. No, I'm not gonna lie, because I don't even know what the Bible is about. I just know it's about God, but I haven't read about it. And she starts sprinkling holy water as well. There's a Bible right there. So there's a Bible open right there, which has the paragraphs that my mom was reading that time. After that, miraculously, no ghosts anymore. They just, or ghost, because I'm pretty sure it was just one. It just stopped. It just stopped out of nowhere. I was starting to sleep better. I didn't feel tired anymore. I didn't feel scared of my own room, because as I said, I was super scared of coming in here, because it was like, you know what you're coming in here for. You're coming in here to give your energy or whatsoever to whatever that thing was. And so basically that was kind of like the end of that. I mean, ever since then, there hasn't really been a haunting in here in my room, and I really hope that there isn't another one, because boy, those months were very, very heavy. That is the story of the time my room was haunted. So tell me, gals and guys, in the comments below, have you experienced a paranormal event, whether it's in your house, room, or someplace else? I would really love to read that. I'm a super fan of horror paranormal stories. Leave it in the comments below. Like, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram, link is down below. I am Louis. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Hope everyone is doing okay, and I will see you all next time. Take care. Remember, if you have a ghost in your house, call the Ghostbusters. I mean, that's something I should have done